passage from The Witch Blackbird Pond, which was one of my favorite books as a child, and one that I actually read at least annually, actually often more. So I'm going to actually read one of my favorite scenes in the book, and one of the ones that I've always thought was, I don't know, one of the best telling about the story. So, "Hold a minute, Captain," called a voice. A commotion near the door had been scarcely noticed. "There's a fellow here that says he has an important witness for the case." Every voice was suddenly stilled. Almost paralyzed with dread, Kit slowly turned to face a new accuser. On the threshold of the room stood Nat Eden. Slim, straight-shouldered, without a trace of mockery in his level blue eyes. "Nat!" The wave of joy and relief was so unexpected that she almost lost her balance. But almost instantly it drained away and left a new fear. For she saw that beside him, clinging tightly to his hand, was Prudence Cruff. Goodwife Cruff let out a piercing scream. "Take her out of here. The witch will put an evil eye on her." She and her husband both started forward. "Stand back," ordered the magistrate. "The child is protected here. Where is the witness?" Nat put his hands on the child's shoulders and gently urged her forward. With one trusting look up at his face, Prudence walked steadily towards the magistrate's table. Suddenly, Kit found her voice. "Oh, please, sir," she cried, the tears rushing down her face. "Let them take her away. It's all my fault. I would do anything to undo it if I could. I never meant any harm, but I am responsible for all of it. Please, take me to Hartford. Do what you want with me, but oh, I beg you, send Prudence away from this horrible place." The magistrate waited till this outburst was over. "'Tis a trifle late to think about the child," he said coldly. "Come here, child." Kit sank on her knees and buried her face in her hands. The buzz in the room roared like a swarm of bees around her head. Then there was a waiting hush. She could scarcely bear to look at Prudence, but she forced herself to raise her head. The child was barefoot, and her snarled hair was uncovered. Her thin arms under the skimpy jumper were blue with cold. Then Kit stared again. There was something strange about Prudence. "Will you stand there, child, in front of the table?" Captain Talcott spoke reassuringly. Watching Prudence, Kit suddenly felt a queer prickling along her spine. There was something different about her. The child's head was up. Her eyes were fastened levelly on the magistrate. Prudence was not afraid. "We will ask you some questions, Prudence," said the magistrate quietly. "You will answer them as truthfully as possible. Do you understand?" "Yes, sir," whispered Prudence. "Do you know this young woman?" "Oh, yes, sir. She is my teacher. She taught me to read."
Hello, my name is Andrew Simeone, and for Banned Books Week, I will be reading an excerpt from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. "I will tell you why, so shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame of the earth seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, and this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel in apprehension, how like a god! The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights me not, no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so."
Hello, my name is Jessica Kelly, and I am going to be reading from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. "Cheshire Puss," she began, rather timidly, as she did not at all know whether it would like the name. However, it only grinned a little wider. "Come, it's pleased so far," thought Alice as she went on. "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?" "That depends a good deal on where you want to get," said the cat. "I don't much care where," said Alice. "Then it doesn't matter which way you go," said the cat. "So long as I get somewhere," said Alice added as an explanation. "Oh, you're sure to do that," said the cat. if you only walk long enough. Alice felt that this could not be denied, so she tried another question. What sort of people live about there, here? In that direction, said the cat, waving its right paw around, lives the Hatter, and in that direction, waving its other paw, lives the March Hare. Visit either if you like. They're both mad. But I don't want to go amongst mad people, Alice remarked. Oh, you can't help that, said the cat. We're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad.
Okay, so this is Henry and June by Anais Nin, and I'm going to read my favorite passage from the book. Last night I wept. I wept because the process by which I have become a woman was painful. I wept because I was no longer a child with a child's blind faith. I wept because my eyes were open to reality, to Henry's selfishness, June's love of power, my insatiable creativity, which must concern itself with others and cannot be sufficient to itself. I wept because I could not believe anymore, and I love to believe. I can still love passionately without believing. That means I love humanly. I wept because from now on, I will weep less. I wept because I have lost my pain, and I am not yet accustomed to its absence.
Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. Banned for reasons that escape all of us. I am Sam. I am Sam. Sam I am. That Sam I am. That Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you eat them in a box? Would you eat them with a fox? Not in a box, not with a fox, not in a house, not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Could you in a car? Eat them, here they are. I would not, could not, in a car. You may like them, you will see. You may like them in a tree. I would not, could not in a tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. A train, a train, a train, a train. Would you on a train? Not on a train, not in a tree, not in a car. Sam, let me be. I would not, could not in a box. I would not, could not with a fox. I will not eat them with a mouse. I will not eat them in a house. I will not eat them here or there. I will not eat them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Say, in the dark? Here in the dark? Could you in the dark? I would not, could not in the dark. Could you in the rain? I would not, could not in the rain. Not in the dark, not on a train, not in a car, not in a tree. I do not like them, Sam, you see. Not in a house, not in a box, not with a mouse, not with a fox. I will not eat them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. You do not like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam, I am. Would you with a goat? I would not, could not with a goat. Could you on a boat? I would not, could not on a boat. I will not with a goat. I will not eat them in the rain. I will not eat them on a train, not in the dark, not in the tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I will not eat them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. You do not like them, so you say. Try them and you may. Try them and you may, I say. Sam, if you will let me be, I will try them. You will see. Say, I like green eggs and ham. I do, I like them, Sam I am. And I would eat them in a boat, and I would eat them with a goat. And I will eat them in the rain, and in the dark, and on a train, and in a car, and in a tree. They are so good, you see. And I will eat them in a box, and I will eat them with a fox, and I will eat them in a house, and I will eat them with a mouse, and I will eat them here and there. Say, I will eat them anywhere. I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you. Thank you, Sam I Am.
This is from Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright, and this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had no business to be there after day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be, the sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead, there were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose, the walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, you know, they haven't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4. Thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so. Then they rested on a rock conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. But wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. Now if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come, and you are very nice. The carpenter said nothing but, cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I've had to ask you twice. It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick, after we've brought them out so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing but, the butter's spread too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. Oh, oysters, said the carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none, and this was scarcely odd because they'd eaten every one.
I'm reading from Ulysses. Perched on high stools by the bar, hat shoved back, at the tables calling for more bread, no charge, swilling, wolfing gobfuls of sloppy food, their eyes bulging, wiping wetted mustaches. A pallid, sweat-faced young man polished his tumbler, knife, fork, and spoon with his napkin. New set of microbes. A man with an infant sauce-stained napkin tucked around him shoveled gurgling soup down his gullet. A man spitting back on his plate, half-masticated gristle, gums, no teeth to chew it. Chump chop from the grill, bolting to get it over. Sad boozer's eyes, bitten off more than he can chew. Am I like that? See ourselves as others see us. Hungry man is an angry man, working tooth and jaw. Don't, oh, a bone. That last pagan king of Ireland, Cormac, in the school poem choked himself at slutty southward of the Boyne. Wonder what he was eating. Something galoptious. St. Patrick converted him to Christianity. Couldn't swallow it at all, however. Roast beef and cabbage, one stew. Smells of men, spate and sawdust, Swedish warmish cigarette smoke, reek of plugs, spilt beer, men's beery piss, the stale of ferment. His gorge rose. Couldn't eat a morsel here. Fellow sharpening knife and fork to eat all before him, old chap picking his toodles. Slight spasm, full, chewing the cud, before and after. Grace after meals. Look on this picture, then on that. Scoffing up stew gravy with stopping sippets of bread. Lick it off the plate, man. Get out of this. He gazed round the stooled and tabled eaters, tightening the wings of his nose. 2 stouts here, 1 corned in cabbage. That fellow ramming a knifeful of cabbage down as if his life depended on it. Good stroke. Give me the fidgets to look. Safer to eat from his 3 hands. Tear it limb from limb. Second nature to him. Born with a silver knife in his mouth. That's witty, I think. Or no, silver means born rich. Born with a knife. But then the illusion is lost. An ill-girt server gathered sticky, clattering plates. Rock, the head bailiff, standing at the bar, blew the foamy crown from his tankard. Well up, it splashed yellow near his boot. A diner, knife and fork upright, elbows on the table, ready for a second helping, stared towards the food lift across his stained square of newspaper. Other chap telling him something with his mouth full. Sympathetic listener. Table talk. I munched hum unthrough unster bunk on munch day. Ha? Did you, Faith? Mr. Bloom raised 2 fingers doubtfully to his lips. His eyes said, not here. Don't see him. Out. I hate dirty eaters.
So the little prince tamed the fox, and when the hour of his departure drew near, "Ah," said the fox, "I shall cry." "It is your own fault," said the little prince. "I never wished you any sort of harm, but you wanted me to tame you." "Yes, that is so," said the fox. "But now you are going to cry," said the little prince. "Yes, that is so," said the fox. "Then it has done you no good at all." "It has done me good," said the fox, "because of the color of the wheat fields." And then he added, "Go and look again at the roses. You will understand now that yours is unique in all the world. Then come back to say goodbye to me, and I will make you a present of a secret." The little prince went away to look again at the roses. "You are not at all like my rose," he said. "As yet you are nothing. No one has tamed you, and you have tamed no one. You are like my fox when I first knew him. He was only a fox, like 100,000 other foxes, but I have made him my friend, and now he is unique in all the world." And the roses were very much embarrassed. "You are beautiful, but you are empty," he went on. "One could not die for you. To be sure, an ordinary passerby would think that my rose looked just like you, and the rose that belongs to me, but in herself alone she is more important than all the hundreds of you other roses. Because it is she that I have watered. Because it is she that I have put under the glass globe. Because it is she that I have sheltered behind the screen. Because it is for her that I have killed the caterpillars, except the 2 or 3 that we have saved to become butterflies. Because it is she that I have listened to when she grumbled or boasted, or even sometimes when she said nothing. Because she is my rose." And he went back to meet the fox. "Goodbye," he said. "Goodbye," said the fox. "And now here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." "What is essential is invisible to the eye," the little prince repeated, so that he would be sure to remember. "It is time you have devoted to your rose that makes your rose so important." "It is the time that I have devoted to my rose," said the little prince, so that he would be sure to remember. "Men have forgotten this truth," said the fox, "but you must not forget it. You become responsible forever for whatever you have tamed. You are responsible for your rose." "I am responsible for my rose," the little prince repeated, so that he would be sure to remember.
Great. My name is Gretel McAllister. I'm a student at Simmons College, and I'm going to read a paragraph from On the Road during Banned Book Week. "So in America, when the sun goes down and I sit on the old broken down river pier watching the long, long skies over New Jersey and sense all that raw land that rolls in one unbelievable huge bulge over to the west coast, and all that road going, all the people dreaming in the immensity of it, and in Iowa, I know by now that children must be crying in the land where they let the children cry. And tonight the stars will be out, and don't you know that God is Pooh Bear? The evening star must be drooping and shedding her sparkler dims on the prairie, which is just before the coming of complete night that blesses the earth, darkens all rivers, cups the peaks, and folds the final shore in. And nobody knows what's going to happen to anybody besides the forlorn rags of growing old. I think of Dean Moriarty. I even think of old Dean Moriarty, the father we never found. I think of Dean Moriarty."
Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hogwarty Hogwarts. Teach us something, please. Whether we be old and bald or young with scabby knees, our heads could do with filling with some interesting stuff. For now they're bare and full of air, dead flies and bits of fluff. So teach us things worth knowing, bring back what we forgot, just do your best, we'll do the rest, and learn until our brains all rot.